Hello, my name is Matt, and I hope you are safe and well. And I welcome you to this guided sleep meditation to help you let go of anxiety, fear, and worry. Join me for this NLP hypnosis that has been proven to motivate people to change and guide you to positive emotional healing before sleep. And I am so happy you have taken this time to join me for this sleep hypnosis, because I am excited to share with you a technique that you can do by yourself and in your own time and in your own way to leave fear and anxiety in the past. And I wonder how you would feel knowing that with continued practice, you will learn to free yourself from the flow of unhelpful thoughts, those negative emotions of fear and anxiety as you drift down and experience a deep, restful sleep. At Self Health Hypnosis, Ash and I believe there is always light somewhere in the darkness, guiding you to discover your personal strengths and be the hero of your own journey. So I wonder when you will choose to start a new story. And because you are here now, I am certain part of you is committed now to the process of changing how you respond to situations that may have caused you anxiety or worry, and make the decision now to respond differently or with positivity. And you might be comforted to know that I am here with you, and my voice is here to guide you as I talk you through this exercise, step by step, showing you how powerful you really are and how easy it is to use your amazing imagination and release yourself from anxiety, fear, and unnecessary stress. So I will suggest you take time now to prepare yourself and ready a special place where you often find peace and quiet, giving yourself permission to take a moment for self-care, where you can focus on you and allow yourself to relax and in your own way find calm. And I will give you a minute or so to find quiet, to close any doors or blinds. So you might just like to carefully listen to my instructions as we ready you to search within yourself now and find the skills that are always available now to take positive steps toward healing and peace. So when you are ready and in your own time, finding that comfortable position. It could be in your soft, warm bed, a cozy lounge, or a comfortable chair. And you might like to just feel your body relax. Now perhaps noticing your limbs, your torso, and each muscle in your body as it settles and remembers what it feels like each time you get into your bed. Pull the covers up over you and relax. And maybe as you relax in comfort, your eyes starting to blink. And I wonder if after a busy day, your eyes might be feeling tired and your eyelids heavy. And it is okay to be aware of your eyes and of how you are in control, and how you could even open them should you wish. And that's fine. Just close them a minute, and you may want to drift down right now into a deep state of trance. Because as you relax, your eyes closed, you are already halfway there. That's right. And with your eyes closed, you can begin to relax. Though at first, you may be more aware of some things than you were before. The sounds outside, or even the sounds inside the room. The relaxing tone of my voice. The sensations in your hands or in your feet. Or maybe the thoughts of images that drift into your mind automatically. Because with your eyes closed, it becomes easier and easier to become more and more aware of a variety of things that otherwise might be overlooked or ignored. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, and the alteration of awareness as the mind begins to experience that gradual letting go. And I wonder if you want to learn a new way, and that in those moments when you courageously confront your past fears, you can step back and see any negative thoughts for what they are. Because in this moment, now, you have committed in the present to relax and become absorbed in the practice of mindfulness. That's right. In this moment, now, you are safe. And so, as you relax now, with your eyes closed, and begin to become aware of your own thoughts and your own sensations. Through the practice of mindful breathing, you can connect with the here and now. So now, you can just be aware of the sound of my voice, or you can simply ignore everything else as I encourage you to breathe in deeply and breathe out deeply, taking another deep, slow breath in, just noticing the sensation of the air as it fills your lungs, and breathing out, noticing the feeling of the warm air as it passes through your nostrils and lips. And as you breathe in once again, notice the sensation as the air fills your belly. And as you let the breath go, let go of any thoughts and let go of any obligations. As I encourage you to breathe in deeply, focusing on any noises you hear inside the room. And as you let go of that breath, perhaps you can notice any sounds outside the room. Just letting your body relax a little more with the next deep inhale, and relaxing even further as you exhale. And as your breathing starts to slow, you might start to allow yourself to access that quiet, peaceful place inside of you, that inner space of peace and calmness. That's right. And I understand how easy it is to get caught up in wanting to have a special experience, looking for signs of progress, or wondering whether you are doing it right. But the truth is, you can only take the path to change yourself because you want to do it for yourself. And in that moment that you decide that what you are experiencing now can be exactly as it is, and you can allow yourself to be exactly as you are. And it's natural to feel fear and anxiety sometimes. Fear is a natural and powerful human state. And for most people in everyday life, fear and anxiety is often related to uncertainty, where they encounter a situation they find tough to navigate, or something that is holding them back from pursuing what they desire. And many don't realize that sooner or later, these fears and worries will be overcome. And it is also important to remember that fear and anxiety are necessary survival mechanisms designed to keep us safe. And as individuals, our response to fear and anxiety can be different. For some of us, it could be from a memory back there in the past. And for others, it may manifest as worry about the future and unknown possibilities. And sometimes our brain simply can't tell when threats are imagined or created by our minds, such as when we imagine a future situation turning out negatively, or when we replay a painful conversation. Yet the truth is, we can't control the thoughts that float into our conscious awareness. And eventually we can learn to control how we choose to respond. And I wonder if you know that you have the ability to decide what you will focus your mind on. And you might later notice you have control over the language you use to speak to yourself. And you have control over how you use your physical body. And isn't it all of these that contribute to our experience of fear or anxiety, or a wonderful, positive, calm? And these tools you now have can be used to overcome fear and anxiety when you take back control. And the exercise that we are going to do together now will remind you just how powerful you are and just how easy it can be to overcome anxiety, fear, and worry. We suggest this is best performed before you wish to go to sleep, so that when you have completed the exercise, you can just simply drift off to sleep and allow your mind to integrate the change. And understanding that this is a powerful exercise for change, we suggest for the first time that you don't choose your biggest fear, anxiety, or worry, and instead perhaps choose something you would say is around a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. You may wish to choose the first fear that pops into your head, or perhaps if you are someone that has experienced fear or anxiety in the past, you might use that general feeling of fear or anxiety you once had as your point of focus. So let's begin. Just start now to visualize the problem you have chosen to work with, and see that problem you had as an image. And you can see an image of the issue or the situation. It can be a still image or a moving image. Whatever works for you. There is no wrong way or right way to just hold that image in your mind. And as you see that image in your mind, hold it for a few moments and associate it with the fear and anxiety you will overcome. Now see that image outside of your mind, floating outside of your body. You can see it 2 or 3 meters away from you now, and watch it there just in front of you. And remember, there is no right way or wrong way to see it. Perhaps it's just floating in the air. Perhaps you see it on a screen. Either way, it does not matter because you are in control. And as you watch the image outside of yourself, placing it those few meters away, pause now for a minute and check in with yourself. Notice if there's any difference in how you might feel when the image is in your mind versus when it is outside of your body and several meters away. Perhaps you might like to notice that when the image is outside your mind and you can just see it in front of you, that it loses control and you are in control. You have moved it to where you want it to be. So now move it back into your head so that you can see it and feel it in your mind. And notice any shift in how you feel. And again now move it back out of your head, placing it just a few meters away in front of you, seeing it there before you. And now move it back into your mind. Let's repeat that again, moving the image outside of your mind and seeing it now a few meters away. And again moving it back into your head, seeing it and feeling it in your mind. I wonder now if you can notice how different the fear or anxiety feels when it's inside of you compared to when it's outside of you. Perhaps noticing how the feeling of anxiety or fear is less when you move the image outside of you. So let's do that again. And you might like to imagine moving the image back out of your head, out of your mind, and just placing it a few meters away. And now move it back into your mind. And again place the image outside of your head, watching it in front of you, just a few meters away. Now move it back into your mind, feeling how much control you have over the image. And one last time, moving the image outside of you, watching it hover a few meters just in front of you. And now, as you see that image outside of you, make it huge, like you see it on a movie screen at your favorite movie theater. And as you see it up on the giant screen, see yourself in that image before you on the screen. And at the same time, see yourself sitting in the place you most like to sit in the movie theater. Just relaxing into your chair in comfort and watching as the image plays on the screen. Now imagine for a moment a part of you has stepped out of yourself, outside that person that sits in the movie theater watching in comfort. Perhaps that part of you wanted to go get popcorn or a drink, and you can imagine yourself walking back into your movie theater, and as you walk down the aisle, you can see yourself seated, relaxed, and in comfort, watching the image on the screen, and you can see and feel the distance between you and the image on the screen. And maybe, just maybe, it's easy to recognize that you are separated now from any fear or anxiety that is in that picture. And as you look at yourself, watching the image on the screen, you decide now to move it closer and to make it smaller. And again, return the image back now to how it looked when you placed it just few meters away in front of you before. And now throw it back on the big screen and see yourself watching it in the theatre. And maybe you don't know this, but this is a powerful NLP technique, and we are going to repeat this a few more times, and we'll do it quickly, but without rushing. And I wonder if you can use your imagination to bring it back down in front of you, just a couple of meters away, smaller and closer. And now just throwing it back up on the big screen, seeing it there before you. And again, bring it back down in front of you, just a couple of meters away, smaller and closer. And again, now throw it back up on the big screen. Once more, bring it back down in front of you, just a couple of meters away, smaller and ever closer. And now just throwing it back up again on the big screen, and yet again bringing it back down in front of you, smaller and closer, just a few feet away. And again now, you can imagine yourself just throwing that image back up on the big screen, and once more just bringing it back down in front of you, just a couple of feet away, smaller and closer. And you might like to take a moment now and take a deep breath as you pause and check in with yourself. And I wonder if you notice how you're feeling, and notice how in control you feel as the image continues to play on the big screen, with you seated just several rows back in your favorite spot in the theatre. And as you are watching the screen, I wonder if you can see yourself now entering through the back of the theatre. You walk in and look down at yourself, and you can see yourself sitting several rows back in your favorite spot, watching yourself on the big screen. And you approach yourself now sitting there in your favorite place in the theatre. And now you can step into yourself as you sit and watch and take in the image on the big screen. And in this moment, step back outside of yourself and stand beside yourself as you watch yourself in the image on the screen. And again, step into yourself as you are seated and watch the image of yourself on the screen, seated in your favorite spot in the theatre. Now again, step outside of yourself and watch yourself, watching yourself in the image on the screen, and again stepping into yourself and watch the image on the screen, seated in your favorite spot in the theatre. And again, step outside of yourself and watch yourself, watching yourself in the image on the screen. And again, let's repeat this powerful exercise as you step into yourself and watch the image on the screen, seated several rows back in your favorite seat in the theatre. Now step outside of yourself and watch yourself, watching yourself in the image on the screen. And one last time, step into yourself and watch the image on the screen as you are seated in comfort. And as you relax into your favorite seat in the theatre, and sink into the chair comfortably. You might like to take a moment to reflect now and notice the emotional shifts or changes when you enter into the different positions. Perhaps you might notice the fear is less potent when you step outside yourself, watching yourself. While watching the image, find yourself back in the audience now, watching the image on the big screen, seated in your favorite seat. And as you watch the screen, shrink the screen down now, much smaller, perhaps seeing it on an iPad about 1 meter away from you. Now throw it back up on the big screen. And let's repeat this a few times and go as fast as you can, but don't rush it, shrinking it down to the size of an iPad and seeing it about a few feet away. And now throwing it back up on the big screen. And again, back to the size of an iPad, and now back up again onto the big screen. And again back down to the size of an iPad only a few feet away, and now back up again onto the big screen. And once more back, small, down to the size of an iPad, and back up again onto the big screen. Let's pause here a moment and take a few deep breaths and just check in with how you're feeling. Notice any shifts in your emotional state when you think about the fear, worry, or the situation you chose earlier for this exercise. Now let's take that iPad-sized image and just mold it into a ball. Wrap it around, scrunch it up, or fold it over until it's turned into a nice round ball. Just do what feels natural and right for you. And now, as you see that ball in front of you, take a moment to look at it closely and acknowledge that this ball represents all of your memory and feeling, the mental and emotional information of that situation past or the fear. It is all safely held inside this ball. Now recognize what color the ball is. There's no right or wrong color. You will instinctively know what color the ball is. See it now and acknowledge the color. And now shrink the ball. Make it the size of about a golf ball. See it in front of you in its tiny golf ball size. And use the power of your abundant imagination to unravel and expand the ball out and back up onto the big screen. And when you see it up there on the big screen, again shrink it down to the size of an iPad, now rolling once again into a tiny golf ball, and again expanding it out back up onto the big screen, and again shrinking it down to the size of an iPad and rolling it into a tiny golf ball. Let's repeat and expand it out back up onto the big screen. And take this image and shrink it down to the size of an iPad, and as you see it there before you, roll it into a tiny golf ball. Now I wonder if you would like to take this ball and move it away from you. Maybe moving it to the other side of the room and back again, so it sits there just in front of you. Quickly now, but don't rush. Again, move the ball away from you and see it on the other side of the room, and move it back to just in front of you. Notice how the distance affects your emotional connection to the fear, or anxious situation. And again, let's repeat and move the ball away from you to the other side of the room. And now move it back just in front of you. And once more, move the ball away from you and move it to the other side of the room. And again, moving it back to just in front of you. Now in your mind, think of a spot, a place you know, just a few blocks away. Perhaps it's a park, a street corner, or a building you know. And when you have this place in your mind, just send the ball there. See it quickly making its way there. And when it gets there, see your golf ball and imagine what surrounds it. And when you have taken that in, bring it back. And let's do that again, sending the ball right in front of you a few blocks away to that spot, and then quickly bringing it back again. Do it quickly, but don't rush. Let's repeat that again and send the ball to that spot a few blocks away. Follow the ball in your mind. Follow its flight path as it flies down the street and reaches that spot you have chosen. See it going there and see it coming back past all the familiar landmarks you recognize. When the ball is again back in front of you, let's send it away again, but this time let's send it 10 miles away. Pick somewhere you know that is roughly a 10-mile trip. Maybe it's somewhere across the city or just out of town. Wherever it is, you decide. Now send the ball to that place 10 miles away and see the golf ball as you follow it from where you are, past a few blocks and past all the familiar landmarks as you follow it. And when you have reached that place about 10 miles away, bring the ball quickly back, following it all the way as it flies quickly through the streets and past the places you know. And again send the ball to the place you chose around 10 miles away, watching as you direct it via the quickest and direct route you know. And when you make it there, send the ball back, following it all the way home. We can do even better than that. So let's send it across the country. So imagine now, seeing the tiny golf ball as it shoots off, and you watch it as it flies to the opposite side of the country and returns back again. And once again, sending it to the other side of your country, watching as it shoots quickly over roads and across the land, through forests and even over lakes and rivers, and bringing it back again and for one last time, sending the ball across the country, watching as it flies across the land to the border or perhaps to the sea, and then bringing it back again once more. You're doing an amazing job. And let's take a moment now to check in. Perhaps taking a moment to think about the fear, anxiety, worry, or situation you have chosen to overcome. And you may remember that before you chose a fear, with a rating of around 6 out of 10 on the fear scale. Yet I wonder what you would rate it now. Have you noticed the rating has reduced? Check in with yourself again and rate the fear. And if for some reason this rating is more than 1, I would suggest now that you take 5 deep breaths and finish this meditation here. And we suggest you repeat this exercise again in the next few days and continue repeating this until you feel the fear, anxiety, or worry is 1 or even less. But if you do indeed rate that past fear, anxiety, or worry a 1 or less, after a few deep breaths, it is time now to move on to the final stage of the exercise. And for those who are choosing to repeat the exercise tomorrow or in the next few days, allow yourself to relax now, knowing that you have taken important steps in overcoming your fears, in overcoming anxiety, and that you have all the power and resources inside you to do so. And most important of all, you can return to this meditation whenever you are ready. That's right. Taking a few deep breaths in and a few deep breaths out. You should feel a sense of inner pride and imagine the wonderful steps you have taken yourself tonight as you drift down to sleep. Yet for those who are moving on to the final stage of the exercise, if you now rate your fear a mere 1 or even less, imagine that ball back in front of you, because it is time now to make sure all of the emotional and mental information related to any fear, anxiety, or worry stays sealed and secured inside that ball. And to do this, we can start by building some layers around that ball. Wrap the ball in some metal foil and place several layers around it and scrunch them tight. And why don't we also package it in a box, a sturdy wooden box? And you can see yourself as you place your ball wrapped tight inside the wooden box and close the lid. Perhaps grabbing a hammer and nails and watching as the box is nailed shut. Once sealed tight inside the wooden box, let's place that wooden box nailed shut into a metal vault or safe made of thick, impenetrable steel. And you can watch yourself as you place that wooden box inside the vault and step back. A smile on your face as you see the metal vault being welded shut. But we aren't done yet. Now it is time to set the whole steel welded safe into a concrete mold, open only at the top. And you watch as concrete is poured over the vault and into the mold and starts to set almost immediately. And as you continue to watch it dry, it becomes rock solid. And now it's time to part with the box. And I wonder how you feel to know we are going to take it to a place that no one will find it, to a place where you will never have to look at it again, to a place from where it can never return. We are going to send the box into outer space, to a place that feels right for you. Perhaps this is the dark side of the moon, to a planet, or even a distant star. Whatever you choose, it's totally up to you. And you can watch now as you send it to that distant place, across space, and bring it back again in front of you. Choosing again to send it back into space, to that place you're going to leave it for good. Yet before you do, just bring it back. And once more, you can send that box away to that place in space you have chosen where it will never be thought of again. And for its final journey, watch as it flies out through the atmosphere and into deep, dark space, and see it arrive at the distant destination. And now it's time to just leave it there. And I hope you know that you have done an incredible job, that you have undertaken a powerful exercise that will help you overcome anxiety, fear, and worry in your life. And it might be nice now to just take a deep, satisfied breath in and allow yourself to breathe out all of that anxiety, fear, and worry, and any stress one last time. Just seeing yourself let go of any final attachments with every inhale and every exhale, and allowing yourself to relax here a little more as you ready yourself to sleep. And many will find it easy now to drift off to sleep, having put any fear, anxiety, or worry out there in space, in that distant place. And others might experience some resistance to this freedom, and that's okay. Perhaps this is because this fear has been part of your life for so long, that letting go is something that takes time, and that's perfectly okay, because eventually you will let it go. And now rest will come. Perhaps you will notice how your body has become more relaxed with every breath. And perhaps you're relaxing further still with the sound of my voice. Or maybe you notice your body relaxing further in the spaces between my words. Whatever it is, just allow yourself now to do whatever feels comfortable. And in a few moments I will leave you with the gentle music as you continue breathing in deeply and exhaling again slowly, allowing yourself to drift off to a peaceful, calm sleep, knowing that you have done something so incredible for yourself. You have taken this time to set yourself free. And you may decide now to just let go of any remaining anxiety, fear, or worry. Or maybe it will be later, when you can entrust the body, mind, and soul, when it integrates and assimilates these powerful changes overnight as you sleep. or perhaps in the next few days. Having certainty in what you have done tonight. And that change will happen in whatever way is right for you. And that moment starts now.